Hello, I'm Joanne Myers, Director of Public Affairs Programs. As many of you know, the Carnegie Council has been a forum for the discussion of ethical issues in international decision-making. But to continue to bring these wonderful programs to you, we need your help. Please visit carnegiecouncil.org, click on Donate/Join. Thank you for doing so.
Combat, it's this really weird sort of chess game, football game. Like everyone is dependent on everyone else. If whatever you're doing, it won't work if the other people in your squad aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And as soon as they stop doing what they're supposed to be doing, you're screwed, and vice versa. And so in combat, you don't want to wonder if, as you run out of ammo in an exposed position, is Joe, who's behind a rock over there with another box of ammo, if Joe's going to actually run through gunfire to bring it to you, you don't want to wonder that because you upset him yesterday. That whole emotional part of human relations has to disappear in combat, and it's replaced by this pretty profound decision to put your welfare, your safety, below that of everyone else in the group. You're not important compared to everyone else. And if everyone in the group does that, you're all better off. You're all safer. But just think about how comforting that would be to a young person, to a young man. You're in combat. You have complete utility, right? You know what your job is. You have a clear purpose. Your relationship with others is determined purely by your conduct. Like back in society, if you're good looking, if your dad's rich, if you're not good looking, if you're whatever, like all of these things you have no control over at 18 determine how you're seen by people. And in combat, it really doesn't matter. Like you can be ugly, you can be a Harvard grad, you can be gay, you can be whatever. If you're a good soldier, you get the respect of your peers. So you're totally self-determining. No teenager has that luxury in high school, being completely self-determining in how they're perceived. In combat, you do. So you have that experience, and you're in this brotherhood where 20, 30 other guys will risk their lives for you and vice versa. And then you bring someone like that back to society. And all of a sudden, they don't have utility. I mean, there's nothing lower. In combat, an American infantryman in combat is the top of the food chain, right? They're well-trained, they're well-armed, they have like a very clear sense of their role, their duty. Then you take that same 19-year-old, take away his gun, take away his uniform, you put him in street clothes in society. A 19-year-old male in society is at the bottom of the food chain. All of a sudden you're expendable, you're overlooked. Sort of older, higher status males are sort of getting all the attention. I've been a 19-year-old male. It's not a lot of fun, maybe if you're Justin Bieber, it's all right. But for most of us mortals, it's kind of miserable in a way that I don't think 19-year-old women sort of quite understand. There's a different relationship between a 19-year-old man in society and a 19-year-old woman in society. And but then you take these guys and put them in combat, and suddenly they're like, this is it. This I have control over. In this environment, I can determine who I am, how I'm seen, and that's a very powerful thing. And I think when these young people come back into society, I think what will go a long way. I mean, I'm not going to prescribe how to fix the VA or anything. Like I have no idea, but just in terms of us as citizens dealing with veterans, I think one of the interesting, I'm always getting this question like, how can we help? What should we say to veterans? I don't exactly know the answer, but what I can say is that if in your mind you understand that there might be a very important and in some ways psychologically healthy thing that they're missing from that experience, if you can wrap your mind around that and not judge it and just take it for what it is, I think that will go a long way towards them understanding that confusing reaction of their own.